let us see this problem. Compute UPF, the upper Riemann sum, and LPF, that is lower Riemann sum, for this function. What is the function? F of x is equal to x square on the interval 0, 1. That is our interval AB. Now is 0, 1. With respect to the partition also given 0, 1 by 4, 2 by 4, 3 by 4, 1. Okay, this is very important problem, almost definite problem. Okay, right. See here in this partition, okay, the lengths of the subintervals are same, 0 to 1 by 4. So 1 by 4 length. 1 by 4 to 2 by 4, again 1 by 4. 2 by 4 to 3 by 4, again 1 by 4. So they are equal lengths, but it need not be like this. That means the lengths of the subintervals need not be same. Right. Now see the function f of x is equal to x square, and we need infimum and supremum of this function in each of the subintervals. అంటే ప్రతి సబ్ మీద ఈ ఫంక్షన్ ఇన్ఫిమం అంటే మినిమం ఎంత అవుతుంది, సుప్రీమం అంటే ఇంచుమించుగా మాక్సిమం ఎంత అవుతుంది. అంటే మీకు అర్థం అవడం కోసం సుప్రీమం మినిమం ని మినిమం మాక్సిమం కింద చెప్తున్నాను, అరే మాక్సిమం మినిమం కింద చెప్తున్నాను. బట్ రైట్, సుప్రీమం is quite different from maximum, right? f of x is equal to x square అనే ఫంక్షన్ కి 0, 1 by 4 ఈ ఇంటర్వెల్ లో మాక్సిమం ఏమవుతుంది, 1 by 4, 2 by 4 లో సుప్రీమం ఏమవుతుంది, అలాగే 2 by 4, 3 by 4 లో సుప్రీమం ఏంటి, 3 by 4 to 1, what is the supremum? Okay, this is the graph of f of x is equal to x square. Okay, f of x is equal to x square. Now see, first observe the behavior of f of x. Here f of x is equal to x square is an increasing function. What is this? Increasing. See the graph, you can observe it. Increasing function. Okay, because if x is less than y, x square is automatically less than y square. Right? That means what? If for small value of x, you will get small value of f of x. For big value of y, you will get big value of f of y, because this is f of y. That means if x is less than y, then f of x is less than f of y. That means f of x increases with respect to x. Okay, if x increases, f of x also increases. So therefore f of x is an increasing function. When you have increasing function, okay, in this interval, that is, see here, what are the intervals, subintervals? I1, 0 to 1 by 4, I2, 1 by 4 to 2 by 4, I3, 2 by 4 to 3 by 4, I4, 3 by 4 to 1. Right. Now, delta 1, what is delta 1? Length of this interval. How do you find the length of this subinterval? 1 by 4 minus 0, 1 by 4. Similarly, I2, 1 by 4, 2 by 4, and this length of this interval is delta 2 is equal to 2 by 4 minus 1 by 4. So as we already discussed, length of each subinterval is 1 by 4. So delta 1 is 1 by 4, delta 2 is same, delta 3 is same, delta 4 is also 1 by 4. Now the important portion is here. What is small m1? What is capital M1? You know that m1 is infimum. Okay, infimum of f of x on I1. Okay, so m1 is smallest value of f of x on I1. For example, see here, this is I1. In this I1, okay, what is the smallest value? Okay, so because this is increasing function, smallest value of f of x comes at the smallest value of x. What is the smallest value of x in this interval? 0 is the smallest value. So the smallest value of f of x is 0 square. That is 0 only. So the smallest value is 0. Okay. So the infimum is 0. Got it? Because in this interval 0, 1 by 4, because f of x is increasing function, the smallest value or infimum of f of x comes at smallest value of x. The smallest value in this subinterval is 0. Therefore, m1 is 0. Similarly, because it is increasing function, okay, maximum value or highest value of f of x comes at the highest value of x. See here, same interval, 0 to 1 by 4. Okay, and the maximum value occurs at the maximum value of x. Okay, so here, this is maximum value, right? Right. Similarly, so m1 is nothing but, okay, not 1 by 4, 1 by 4 square. What is 1 by 4 square? That is 1 by 16. Okay, f of x value, x square. Or I can write 1 by 4 whole square, that is equal to 1 by 16. Okay, similarly, on the interval I2, small m2 is at the smallest value of x, that is at 1 by 4. Okay, that means for this interval, okay, for this interval, m2 is nothing but 1 by 16. Okay, so that means this is 1 by 16. Okay, and for the same interval I2, 1 by 4 to 2 by 4, the maximum value is at 2 by 4 or 1 by 2, and that is nothing but 1 by 4. Okay, I shall write like this, 1 by 4 whole square, that is equal to 1 by 16. Here 2 by 4 whole square, that is equal to this is 1 by 2 whole square, so again 1 by 4, 4 by 16. Okay, same as 1 by 4. Okay, or you keep it as 4 by 16 itself, so that our calculation is easy, right? Now this is 4 by 16. Okay, similarly in I3 the minimum is at 2 by 4, that means 2 by 4 whole square, that is 4 by 16. Okay, and maximum is at 3 by 4, that is 3 by 4 whole square. This is because, first please remember that this is because, that is minimum value occurs at minimum value of x. Minimum value of the function occurs at ekkada vastundi, x ekkada minimum akkada vastundi. Maximum value comes at maximum value of x. Okay, because this is increasing function. If f of x is decreasing function, minimum value m3 comes at the maximum value and the maximum value comes at the minimum value, vice versa. Okay, reverse అవుతుంది, right? సో కాబట్టి ఇంక్రీజింగ్ ఫంక్షన్ అంటే మీ ఎగ్జామ్ లో జనరల్ గా అయితే ఇంక్రీజింగ్ ఫంక్షన్ లేకపోతే డిక్రీజింగ్ ఫంక్షన్ ఇస్తారు. ఇంక్రీజింగ్ ఫంక్షన్ ఇస్తే హ్యాపీగా మీరు m1 అంటే ఇన్ఫిమం కావాలంటే ఈ x వాడుకుని f of x లో పెట్టండి. ఓకే, మాక్సిమం కావాలంటే అదే ఇంటర్వెల్ లో ఈ x వాడుకుని f of x లో పెట్టండి. అలాగే ఈ ఇంటర్వెల్ లో మినిమం కావాలనుకోండి ఇంక్రీజింగ్ ఫంక్షన్ కి, ఓకే, ఈ మినిమం వాల్యూ అంటే 1 by 4 ని ఆ f of x లో పెట్టండి. ఇక్కడ f of x x స్క్వేర్ కాబట్టి అది, ఓకే, 2 by 4 దగ్గర అంటే ఇది మాక్సిమం వాల్యూ ఇన్ ఇంటర్వెల్ కాబట్టి ఈ వాల్యూ పట్టుకెళ్ళి ఫంక్షన్ లో పెడితే మీకు ఫంక్షన్ కి మాక్సిమం వస్తుంది. ఇది ఎప్పుడు ఇంక్రీజింగ్. అదే డిక్రీజింగ్ ఫంక్షన్ అయితే ఏం చేయాలి? సపోజ్ స్మాల్ m2 కావాలనుకోండి, m2 కావాలంటే ఈ ఇంటర్వెల్ లో మాక్సిమం ఎంత 2 by 4 కదా, ఈ 2 by 4 ని పట్టుకెళ్ళి f of x లో పెట్టాలి. అప్పుడు మాక్సిమం వస్తుంది, సారీ మినిమం వస్తుంది. అంటే x మాక్సిమం అయినప్పుడు f మినిమం అవుతుంది, x మినిమం అయినప్పుడు f of x మాక్సిమం అవుతుంది. అర్థమవుతుందా? సో కాబట్టి ఇది ఇంక్రీజింగ్ ఫంక్షన్ కాబట్టి మీరు ఫంక్షన్ ఇన్ఫిమం కావాలంటే ఈ స్మాలెస్ట్ వాల్యూ పెట్టండి f లో, అంటే 3 by 4 whole square, that is 9 by 16. ఓకే, అదే మాక్సిమం వాల్యూ కావాలంటే సో ఈ మాక్సిమం వాల్యూ ఆఫ్ x పెట్టండి 1 square, that is equal to 1. అర్థమైందా? See, this is f of x, that is x square value. Okay, so see the diagram. Okay, what we did is, for example, okay, first let us see upper Riemann sum. Okay, m1, what is m1? 1 by 16. So here the function value is 1 by 16. This is maximum. See the graph. So it comes at 1 by 4. This is the maximum value. So this is the rectangle we are going to construct. Next, in this interval, the maximum is 2 by 4. 2 by 4 square. So what is 2 by 4 square? 4 by 16. So this value is 4 by 16. This value. So we construct a rectangle like this. Okay. Similarly, in this interval 2 by 4 to 3 by 4. Okay. Now the maximum value is here. Now we construct the rectangle like this. Okay. Similarly, 3 by 4 to 1. So the maximum value occurs here. So we construct the rectangle like this. So this is the area of first rectangle is capital M1 into delta 1. So what is capital M1? 1 by 16 and delta 1 is 1 by 4. So this is 1 by 1 by 16 into 1 by 4, that is 1 by 64. Got it? Similarly, what is the area of this rectangle? 2 by 4 minus 1 by 4, that is nothing but delta 2. Delta 2 into M2. What is M2? 4 by 16. So 4 by 16 into 1 by 4. Okay, 4 by 64. Actually, we can cancel numerator and denominator, but leave it as it is because it is easy if the denominator is same. Okay, to simplify, the simplification will be easier. Okay, 1 by 4 into 1 by 16, 4 by 64. Next, M3 delta 3. What is M3 here? 9 by 16 and delta 3 is 1 by 4. So what is this? 9 by 64. That is 9 by 64 is area of this rectangle, third rectangle. Next, see M4, capital M4, delta 4. What is capital M4? 1. Delta 4 is 1 by 4. What is this 1 by 4? This 1 by 4 is nothing but the area of the last rectangle. Right? Now, if you want UPF, what is UPF? UPF is nothing but sum of all areas. That is M1 delta 1 plus M2 delta 2 plus M3 delta 3 plus M4 delta 4. Or I shall write simply MR delta R, where R is equal to 1 to 4. Now add all this. So the denominator is same, 64, 64, 64. And here this is 1 by 4, or you can write it as 16 by 64. Isn't it? 16 by 64. Right? 1 by 4 into 1. So again 1 by 4. 1 by 4 square, 1 by 4 can be written as 16 by 64 so that the denominator is same for all. If you add all of them, what happens? Because denominator is same, what you get is, I shall write here, 64 is LCM, and add all the numerators. 1 plus 4, 5, 5 plus 9, 14, 14 plus 16, 30. So 30 by 64 or 15 by 32. Isn't it? 15 by 32 is the upper Riemann sum. Okay, similarly, what is the lower Riemann sum? Now see here. Lower Riemann sum means here. First I multiply M1 into delta 1. Why it is? Because we are finding the area of the rectangle. What is M1? 0. That means this is. So the rectangle here formed is nothing. There is no rectangle. The line itself is a rectangle and the area is 0. So therefore M1 into delta 1 is 0. Now see here, in the second interval M2 is 1 by 16, minimum value. That means in this 1 by 4, 1 by 2, this value, this is 1 by 16. 1 by 16 into 1 by 4. That is 1 by 16 into 1 by 4. So 1 by 64. Right. So this is 1 by 64. Okay. Now you form a rectangle like this. Okay. Up to here. Okay. This is the area of the rectangle. What is the area of the rectangle? 1 by 64. The small rectangle. Now again 2 by 4 to 3 by 4 or 1 by 2, 3 by 4. Okay. So between 1 by 2, 3 by 4, 1 by 2 or 2 by 4, both are same, right? So in this interval, the minimum is 2 by 4 whole square, that is 4 by 16 into 1 by 4. 4 by 16 is the minimum. So it occurs here 1 by 2. This is 4 by 16 and you form a rectangle. This. Okay. The area of this rectangle is, okay, the length of the interval, that is 1 by 4 into the height, that is 4 by 16. So what you get is 4 by 64. Isn't it? 4 by 64. Now, here, for the last interval 3 by 4 comma 1, the minimum is here. It is not minimum. This is minimum. Minimum of the function is this length. Okay. So, what is it? Minimum 3 by 4 whole square, that is 9 by 16. So, this length is 9 by 16. Right? Now, you form a rectangle like this. Okay. Right. Now, you add all the areas. So, what is first the area of this rectangle? Delta 4 is 1 by 4 into M4 is 9 by 16. Total is 9 by 64. Right. Now, what is LPF? Now, LPF is, okay, I shall write over here. Now, LPF is nothing but summation R is equal to 1 to 4 sum of the areas of all these rectangles. See, this rectangle is nothing, so 0 area. This is 1, this is another one, and this is another one. You sum all the areas. So what you have to sum is small mr into delta r, where r runs from 1 to 4. That means you add all these things. 0, 1 by 64, 4 by 64, 9 by 64. Total 1 plus 4, 5, 5 plus 9. Okay, what is 5 plus 9? 14. So 14 by 64, or else this is 7 by 32. What is this? 7 by 32 is the lower limit. And the original value of the integration. What is the original value of the integration? It is integral 0 to 1 x square dx. Of course, this is not the problem actually. Problem is over. You calculated UPF and you calculated LPF for this partition. If you change the partition, okay, the values of LPF and UPF also changes. So what is the integral, original integral value? You know it by calculus. This is x cube by 3, right, between 0 to 1. So that is nothing but 1 by 3, right? So 1 by 3 is equal to 0.3333, isn't it? So this is the original value, 0.33. So what is the value of this? 7 by 32. Okay. So 1 by 3 means 7 by 21. So it is less than 7 by, if it is 7 by 21, then it is 1 by 3. 7 by 32 means it is smaller than 1 by 3. Similarly, 15 by 32. 15 by 32, okay, it is, if 1 by 3 means 15 by 45. But 15 by 32 means 15 by 32 is more than 15 by 45. So it is more than 1 by 3. Okay, because this area, the total area we have formed by these rectangles, okay, upper rectangles, okay, taking supremum in each interval, is more than the original area under this curve. See here. Similarly, okay, this original area under curve is this, but the area formed by these rectangles, lower rectangles, is smaller than, okay, original area. Actually, this area we missed. We missed this area. We missed this area. We missed this area. See? Okay. So this is a rough estimate or approximation for original integral value. Similarly, we have added this extra area. This is also extra area. This is not original area. Whatever I am shading now is extra area. Okay, because we have taken maximum in each interval. We got like this, right? So this is very, very important problem. You will be given some function, some interval, some partition. So first what you have to observe is whether the function is increasing or decreasing. Okay, because all that is important is you can easily write what are the subintervals, 0 to 1 by 4, 1 by 4 to 2 by 4, 2 by 4 to 3 by 4, 3 by 4 to 1 by 1. Okay. Delta 1 is also easy because this minus this, this minus this, this minus this, this minus this. Okay. But when you calculate small m1 and capital M1, the increasing or decreasing nature of function is very much important, right? So what is that? If this is increasing function, what is the smallest value in the interval? 0 is the smallest value. So you put this value in the function x square, that is 0 square, that is your smallest value in the interval, that is m1. That is smallest value of the function. Okay. Similarly, what is the biggest value in the interval? 1 by 4. This is x value. Remember, this is x value. F of x value means you put it in f of x, that is x square. So this is the big value of x. So big value of f of x square, f of x, that is x square, is 1 by 4 square. This is the maximum value or supremum of f of x. Okay. Similarly, m2 is here, small m2 is here, capital M2 is here, small m3 is here, capital M3 is here, small m4 is here, capital M4 is here. But remember, it is not small m4. You put it in the function. It is not small m3. You put it in the function. 2 by 4 square, that is 4 by 16, is small m3. Similarly, 3 by 4 is not capital M3. 3 by 4, put it in the function. 3 by 4 whole square, that is 9 by 16, is your m3. Okay, like this, if you calculate small m1 and capital M1, m2, capital M2, small m3, capital M3, then your task is easy. You have everything here. Just multiply small m's and deltas, okay, and add them. That is your lower Riemann sum. And multiply capital M's and deltas and add them here. Then you will get upper Riemann sum. Okay, this is how you have to calculate. But only thing is, see whether this function is increasing or decreasing. Okay, I will tell you one more example where the function is decreasing. Here, this is increasing, right?